Hello there. YouTube asked me for an update on the video. So this is the update. So 2020 we planted. See the size of this trees here now. So coming in. This is the hazel lane we were managing. The hazels this year produced the first crop. The currants they've been producing last year and this year. On Instagram, if you go into Hazel and Davi's on Instagram, you find updates, but I need to get good at doing the YouTube. And then here, this is the biomass lane. Have still a few raspberries there. I don't know if you can just get it, but yeah, that's the apple there. So we grafted in July in 2020, and that's the growth from, basically from last year and this year. There's a plum there. That bed is a bit of a mess. Those beds here, they're way tidier, and yeah, I've been focusing my energy on the stew beds here. Look at the Japanese walnut, the growth on it. This year started down there, and this is the growth this year. Amazing, what a beast. And that's on the same hole as a hazelnut. Agroforestry produced a few nuts for us today. This little nut here, this is a Nottingham. See, there's an alder there, there's a willow there, there's a poplar here, there's the currants below, there's the comfrey, there's the rhubarb. This little fella here alone had 150 nuts, that tiny tree. It's a Nottingham. The nuts, they did get quite small, but what a beast, what a beast. Very good for pollination. And yeah, so we're trialing, we have 4 different varieties. We have Nottingham or Pierce Prolific, that's a Agroforestry, and then we have Webb's and Hall's Giant. Webb's did alright too, but Agroforestry and Nottingham the best. The poplar did drop their leaves. I was expecting them to hold for them for, I can't remember when they drop it naturally, but they did drop it early. And I could have managed the willow in July. It was very dry, so I was afraid, and typical mistake with Syntropic Agroforestry, not pruning enough. I could have pruned them, they would have resprouted nicely. But anyway, all the material you see down there, this is all from the area here. So we implemented the beds and we keep mulching. So I really need to be careful with this buttercups now, because those lads, they're fast. So I need to stream the edge of the bed here, especially where we have a lot of buttercup like this, because they really crawl into the bed and we don't want them in the bed. Keep them clean. This bed is getting a bit dirty there, so I need more material in that bed. More pruning there. See, this area here has a big hole, but this is here, we have the lupinos still here, and the material that the lupinos were producing, we keep chopping it down. See, it's all in the ground there, so it keeps it nice, and it's like a forest floor already in the mushrooms. We had loads of flushes mushrooms, so it is like a forest floor already. And this is, third year of growth, 2020, 21, 22, the third year of growth. And look the size of those beasts. So see, competition only in our heads. Plants, they're here for a much greater work than we do. Like they don't see themselves as individuals. They're not yeah, they're not disorganizing themselves and serving the structure of consume. They're serving the intelligence of the planet. Produce abundance, fertility, accumulate soil, create communities, strong communities, relationships, enjoy talk, look after each other. See the wind, It's like in Ireland, would you like to be planted at 5 meters apart in a field with the wind we have here? No. As a forest species, which needs the fertility in the soil, which needs the fungi dominated soil, which needs its partnerships, would you like to be planted in the middle of a pasture and left there for the wind, and she'll eventually close a canopy there, monoculture canopy there of single species? Diversity is the strength in nature. So we mimic, and look at that, in 3 years of growth, we harvested the vegetables here the first year. We've been harvesting berries last year and the year before, and it's, you know, we're almost closing well, not really closing a canopy, but there is a feeling of a little forest already. And look at the production of soil, you know. So this was our first area ever implemented here in Wicklow, and you see, it's all like we're experimenting, we're learning, and we're developing the systems, you know. But like, look at that, you know, creating soil. So yeah, I haven't been very active on YouTube, and I'm sorry, but anyway, I just made a little video there for you guys who wanted to see and see the pattern continue. So we have a fruiting line at every 6 meters apart. If we ever manage to focus our efforts into bringing communities back together, managing the landscape, bringing people back to nature, I think the landscape will be something more like this than those, you know, open fields. Like, that's such a waste of energy there. Like, it's just makes sense for the corporate selling the seeds, fertilizer, the machinery, you know, concentrating land in the hand of few, pushing people into the cities. See, more there, more up there. That's a native woodland planting from 2 years before this one. That's 2018. Virtually most of it failed on the top there because that's a very dry bank there. So 2018, planted that, just sticking a plant in a pasture and leaving it there. And this was 2 years after planted. Growing food, sustaining humans and biodiversity. See, like, what kind of work are we doing? Like, what are we serving? We're serving the big corporations. Have time for nothing. We have time not to come together with our families because we're very busy, very efficient people. And that's the legacies we're leaving behind for the next generations. 1/3 of the planet going to desertification. Anyway, I need to shut up. This was planted in July, so today is October, 21st of October. This was planted in 20th of July. Was our last course here. Look at those eucalyptus. What a beast. They were planted, you know, like July, September, like almost 3 months ago now. They were this size in July, planted. Look the size of them now. They were like 30 centimeters tall. Look the size of them. We put them beside a cutting of a poplar. It was very dry here, so we had a drip irrigation. We irrigated twice in a whole month for this batch established, because we had the mulch, so the humidity stays in the soil. And now they take off. And this is another bed we did. We started playing with some medicinals and aromatics, right? So there's still a few holes here, and we're always changing, trying new things. This is a plum, and there's an apple there. We started with bigger material here. The seedlings, they're not in very good shape, but anyway, they're gonna, hopefully next year they'll take off, and we can always give it a prune and stimulate a bit. See, so here we have our medicinals, a bit of kale. There's comfrey for chopping, creating structure too, and we're gonna close the canopy here very soon. And then we have strawberries and garlic planted there. Wormwood. There's more. This is spontaneous. We see food. And then there's rocket that we've been selling. There's raspberries in the middle. Beautiful plants here. And see, so we can create forests, feed people, and then we can free a lot of land. Can produce timber, fruit. And this is from March this year. So we already harvested here potatoes and salads. The first succession here was rockets, was mustards and orientals, and then the strawberries, they're taking over. We had potatoes in the outside and down there too, so we're planted strawberries there already now. We have the willow grew very nicely. That's a cutting from a poplar. There's two there. We were trying stuff out. have the lupinus on the outside. They're really growing now, taking off, very happy. And again, and then the currants in the middle, some of them they're already dropping their leaves. But yeah, forests, timber, food, you know, dealing with the water cycles, managing the wind and the landscape, accumulating abundance and fertility. So we brought implements here, like inputs, and the system, you know, as you take off, needs less and less, and then we're able already to start overflowing. We have loads of cuttings, and then we'll have material to start pruning. Right, so there's loads of acorns coming up. You see one there. They're sowed in the whole middle of the bed. There's another one there, another one there, another one there. So yeah, how can we serve the intelligence of nature and accumulate fertility? The cycles, they're not there for us to decide how we farm, you know, like that's the man-made system there. You know, like last year, 2 years ago, that was planted with field beets, and then like only field beets over winter in Ireland. What a great idea, isn't it? The soil all bare. And then storm after storm, they kept being washed into the valley and then into the woodland. There's a river at the bottom there, and they kept being washed into the woodland. All the soil, all the fertilizer shite that they put in there, all the pesticides, the herbicides, going into the water, killing the water stream, and then bringing all that death to the seas. Right? Ireland importing 80% of its calories, exports a huge amount of beef and lamb, you know. But that's not to feed the people. This is industrial farming, you know, as another business. So importing loads of soya from Brazil, from Argentina, from the States, lots of grain. It's the EU country importing, most dependent on grain imports, and then doing that kind of shite and then exporting most of it. 90%, 80-90% of the production of beef and lamb leaving the country. Like they produce something like 700% the needs of the country, but it's for just, you know, like industrializing the landscape. You know, 6% of the population of Ireland managing 62% of the country. You know, a lot of the people in the cities. So we need to participate. We're animals. We're not anything else apart from animals that have a role to play in the landscape, and we can be doing this kind of stuff here, or being more gentle at least. The electric cars, they're not gonna sort any issue. Wind, solar panels, wind, nothing like that. We don't need any technology. We need social technology and social development, engagement, communities healing their wounds, families coming back together to be able to live in peace instead of running around finding loads of stuff to do and more stupid ways to spend our money and time. But anyway, there's loads of joy, lots of fun to be had to amidst this crazy world we're part of. And yeah, it's a huge satisfaction to be able to walk in here and just sit there and observe and learn and see the wasps coming in and feeding on nectar or pollinating the currants, and loads of birds here. See, animals, they also like food. A lot of the systems for biodiversity, you know, they're thinking about pollinators and that kind of stuff, and but like they also like food. They also eat hazelnuts, they eat apples, they eat plums, they eat cherries. Can plant that stuff for them too. I'm sure they appreciate. They don't really discriminate. Okay, so lots of love. And the worst invasive species we know, Homo sapiens. Possibly the only one too. So lots of love. Go well. Do your best. Enjoy your family. Bye bye.